Very good morning to all of you. Today I want to explain about Module 1, Session 3 of title Subsurface Exploration. Course outcome is ability to plan and execute geotechnical site investigation program for different civil engineering projects. Subject title Applied Geotechnical Engineering and subject code 18 CV62 in 6 semesters of civil engineering department. Today's session 3 contents are here clearly mentioned. First is stabilization of boreholes. Under this content, stabilization with water, stabilization with drilling fluid, stabilization with casing, stabilization by freezing, stabilization by grouting. Next, typical bore log, and next content is sounding tests. Under that, dynamic sounding, static sounding, standard penetration test. So these contents today I want to explain in details. Stabilization of boreholes. The problem of preventing caving of the sides and bottom of a borehole and to avoid disturbance of the soil to be sampled is common to all boring methods. Uncased dry boreholes are generally stable when they are shallow and above the groundwater table, but danger of caving increases rapidly with depth and the presence of free groundwater. In firm cohesive soils, the hole may remain open for a limited length of time. Borehole without any provisions for stabilization and extending below groundwater level are often by piston samplers. There are a number of methods of stabilization of the boreholes are stabilization with water, stabilization with drilling fluid, stabilization with casing, stabilization by freezing, stabilization by grouting. So these are the methods of stabilization of the boreholes. What do you mean by stabilization with waters? Suitable in rock and often in stiff cohesive soils. Water alone is not suitable or preventing caving of borings in soft or cohesionless soils. This is the explanation for stabilization with water. Stabilization with drilling fluids. An uncased borehole can be stabilized by filling it with a proportional drilling fluid or mud, which when circulated also serves to remove the churn up soil from the bottom of the hole. Drilling fluids. A satisfactory drilling fluid can be obtained by mixing locally available clays with water, but it is often advantageous and necessary to add commercially prepared products such as old clay are queer. These commercial clay products consist of highly colloidal, gel-forming, thixotrophic clays, primarily bentonite, with certain chemicals added to control dispersion, thixotrophy, gel strength, and viscosity. How to done stabilization with casing? Casing are the lining of the borehole with the steel pipe provide the safest through relatively expensive method of stabilization of the borehole. Different types of casing are available. Okay, with different length, with different diameters for stabilization by casing. Let us see stabilization by freezing. A borehole may be stabilized by freezing the soil around it as the boring progresses. This may be accomplished by replacing water with kerosene or brine cooled by means of dry ice. This method cannot be used when the ground is dry. This method cannot be used when the ground is dry or nearly so, and when there is a strong water flow. So far it has been used for experimental purposes. So this method is used for experimental purposes. Stabilization by grouting. How to do the stabilization by grouting? A borehole passing through zones in rocks, cavities, faults, and broken rock, etc. may be stabilized by filling the lower part of the hole with cement grout and then reboring the concrete plug. So this is the concept of stabilization by grouting. Typical boring log. What do you mean by boring log? Let us see. A boring log is a diagrammatic report on a borehole. It should be carefully written and should provide the following informations. It should be carefully written and should provide the following informations: identification of the job, number of boring on the plan, ground elevation of boring, that is in vertical control, detailed information regarding the type of the soil available at various depths. This is written as per usual examinations. This is typical boring log. The following figure 1.6 shows a data field in a boring log. This is one examples. Okay, so this is sites 30 meter width, 40 meter length, 50 meter length. This is property lines. This is main roads. Okay, this is also main roads. Okay, so here this is borehole ones. From this road property line 2 meter and from this road 4 meters. Borehole 2 10 meter from this distance, 4 meter from this distance. This is borehole 2. This is borehole 3, 2 meter from this. Okay, this is borehole 4, 2 meter from this and 2 meter from this. Okay, so with the different locations, different borehole numbers are mentioned in this proposed construction site, and here out of any one these number of boreholes, 1 boreholes here is given, typical boring log. So this is depth of foundations with a different depth. Say let us see. So this is ground levels from here to here, 1 meter depth. Type of soil is clay fill, grey colored. Below 1 meter depth, water table is available, and up to 3.5 meter, 1.5 to 3.5 meter, type of soil is grey sandy silt with little clay. Below 3.5 meter to 6 meters, medium dense fine sand is available. Okay, so this is the different depth, and here these are the N values. These are the natural water contents. These are the liquid limit value in percentage. These are the plasticity index in numbers. This is the unconfined compressive shear strength in ton per meter square. So this is the site plan of boring for a bank building. And B is boring log of a borehole with N and laboratories results. The type foundation to be used for the various portions of the structure, the depth of foundation to be provided, the allowable pressure to be used in designing the member, and the expected settlement should be stated unambiguously. Next, let us see sounding tests. In this method, some sounding device like split spoon sampler, a cone or a rod is formed statically or dynamically into the soil. The energy consumed in penetration into soil is indicating of consistency of soil. Standard penetration test, dynamic cone penetration test, and static cone penetration test are commonly adopted standard tests. So these are the applications for sounding tests. This method can be in any type of soil and to any depth is required. This sounding test is adopted. Depth by static cone penetration is limited by the capacity of equipments. Next application, presently 3 ton and 10 ton machine are in use. Next application is standard penetration test is done in a boreholes. SPT test is done in a boreholes. Sounding methods are generally faster and cheaper than borings. Sounding methods are generally faster and cheaper than borings. What do you mean by dynamic sounding? When the probe is advanced with the help of dynamic load like a falling weight, it is called a dynamic sounding. Static sounding. If the probe is subjected to a dead weight or hydraulic pressure and its penetration is measured, it is called static soundings. Let us see in detail explanation of standard penetration test. This is most widely used sounding methods. The SPT test is used extensively in soil exploration programs. The test consists of driving a standard split spoon sampler and SPT test equipments. The test consists of driving a standard split spoon 50.8 mm outside diameter and 35 mm inside diameter into soil under the blow of a drop weight of 65 kg falling freely through 75 centimeters. The number of blows required for 30 centimeter of penetration of sampler in the soil is designated as N values. For every 30 centimeter penetration we are considering N values and is termed as standard penetration blow count. So this is the procedures. This is the diagram. See here, standard penetration test equipment. Okay, see this. For standard penetration resistance measurement, sample spoon is driven at 30 centimeter depth. This is 5.1 centimeter split barrel sample spoon being driven ahead of casing into undisturbed soils. This is rock. This is drive shoe. This is coupling. This is casing. This is ground levels. This is rods. This is drive head, and from here to here this is 75 centimeter drop. These are the tripod. Okay, and this is 5.5 kg pin guided drive weight or hammers. So this is the diagram of SPT test, and this diagram is standard split spoon samplers with different dimensions. Here to here 18 centimeter, and here to here 55.5 centimeter, and here 7.5 centimeter, from here totally 81 centimeter. This is flat for wrench, and these are the thread for wasp pipe. These are the tool steel drive shoe of 2 centimeter thickness, flat for wrench. So these are the components of split spoon samplers for collecting the samples. What are the correlations to be done to measure the values of SPT? The N values of SPT as measured in field may to be correlated. There are two types of corrections generally applied to measure N values. First one is type of correction is applied when SPT is conducted in fine or silty, saturated sand, and when the recorded blow count is greater than 15. This correction is recommended by Tersky and Peck as given the below equation. N equal to 15 plus 0.5 times N dash minus 15, where N and N dash are correlated, corrected and actual blow counts respectively. Second, the other type of correction is known as correction for overburden pressure. This correction is applied only to cohesionless soils. This correction is suggested by Gibbs and Holtz and as widely is as follows. N equal to 35 times N dash by sigma plus 7 for overburden pressure is less than or equal to 28 ton per meter square. Here sigma naught dash is in ton per meter square. And N equal to 345 times N double dash by sigma plus 69 for sigma naught is less than or equal to 276 kilonewton per meter square. Here sigma naught is in kilonewton per meter square. Where N and N dash are corrected and measured blow counts respectively, and is the effective overburden pressure at the depth of SPT. Table 1, empirical values of 5 dry and unit weight of granular soils based on the SPT with correction for saturation effect and for overburden if any. So this is given value with different soil conditions: very loose, medium, dense, very dense. Relative density in percentage is 0 to 15 in very loose. SPT count flow is 1 to 4. If the loose 10, medium 30, and dense 85% relative density, N value is 50. And based on the upper angle of internal friction 25 to 30 degree, 27 to 32 degree loose sand, medium 30 to 35 degree, dense 35 to 40 degree. Approximate range of most humid weight in ton per meter cube. So 1.1 to 1.3. So from these tables we are concluded how n value is selected based on the conditions. Okay. So these are the references are made for session 3. Prepare and explain in details. Okay. Here references are arranged based on alphabetical orders. Okay. Thank you one and all. Next class I will be continue.